Hello! Welcome back to Let's Play F-Zero. I'm Smokey Prog, and today we're gonna be going in the Wayback Machine to 1998. Shakespeare in Love was Best Picture, Zidane was known for his soccer skills rather than headbutting, and the Buffalo Bills were in the playoffs. Also, F-Zero X was released. This is the second installment of the F-Zero series, and the predecessor to F-Zero GX. This game does not have a story, unlike F-Zero GX. However, it still retains the ass-fuckingly hard difficulty in the Grand Prix Master Mode. You'll notice that I set my machine settings to almost full speed, yet I'm still getting passed by these guys. This is completely to be expected. The opposing machines are just crazy in this mode, and to win, you have to rely on murdering people instead of winning the races. This course is Mute City, which you may recognize as the course that is used in the Smash Brothers level, and it's very basic, mainly straightaways and wide turns. You can pretty much just boost through the entire level with no real thought and be fine. And this is essentially what you have to do to win on this difficulty. But yeah, there's not really much more to say about it. It's a fun level. Nothing too difficult.
Alright! First place!
Now this is a Grand Prix, not just one race. So you will have a cumulative points total over the course of 6 races, and that will determine the winner. Next level is Silence, which is possibly the most boring level in the game. By boring, I mean the track layout isn't interesting, but it's pretty fun. All it is just basically NASCAR, except for with right turns instead of left turns. Yeah, just keep on going as fast as you can. This may sound simple, but the game just has a problem with making the computers go in a huge cluster. In this run it wasn't such an issue, but you'll see it on other courses that there'll just be a fucking lump of 10 competitors that was really difficult to get through. And if your rival gets through and you don't, then that's pretty much game over. The rival is what I called the dickhead in Chapter 3 of GX. And they are given even more unfair advantages than the rest of the field. Basically, they're going to get first or second in every race unless you get first or you kill them. This level isn't too bad. It's just a straightaway and you boost. If you don't run into anyone, you're good to go.
Alright! First place!
One thing about X is the physics are a little wonky. Let's go back to another last lap of Silence. This is on a previous Grand Prix run. Alright, I was far behind, so I'm like, I'm gonna boost all the way through. Problem is, if you get going too fast, you reach the terminal velocity of the track and go flying off. This is actually not too rare of a phenomenon in this game. Alright, Sand Ocean. First thing to note here is, I said to win, you need to kill people. And goddammit, I tried there. On Master, the opposing cars also have a lot more health. I mean, I just slammed Captain Falcon pretty much as hard as I can get on that speed, and nothing really happened. Sand Ocean is one of the 2 cylinder-based levels in this cup, this one being on the inside of a pipe. And this is where Biorex's great grip stats come into handy. In F-Zero GX, sliding was more of an inconvenience than anything, because it made you hit walls. In this one, you will lose about a quarter of your speed if you go into a slide and don't correct it almost instantaneously. Because the piped walls are just curved surfaces, you have a really good shot of losing your grip if you're using someone that doesn't naturally have good grip.
Watch your back!
Also, we're going to get into more physics wonkiness with that jump out of the pipe at the end there. I guess it's weird the fact that it actually works more than half the time, to be honest. And you're going out upside down, it should just faceplant you. Like I said, Captain Falcon's gonna get first or second in every match. So I get sixth, and since he's been doing that, I'm going to drop to second place. Oh well. Alright, here's what I was talking about, another previous Grand Prix run. I went out of the top at a little bit of an angle. If you got the top at the very top, then like I said, you do face plant. And yeah, you're fucked if that happens.
Too bad. You lost your machine.
Alright, level 4, Devil's Forest. You may notice on the screens where I set my stats, I just kind of push my way through them. This is because in F-Zero X, it sets your stats for each racer on each track and saves them. So since I've done this cup like 10 times in preparation for actually winning, all of the settings for each track are about what I want to have optimized. This course is fairly straightforward and simple, as most of the courses in this cup have been. The only two things of note are these hairpin turns. In F-Zero GX, for something like that, you would need to drift around. But because sliding is such an issue in this game, you can just hit the shoulder button and be good enough, but you don't need the tightness of drifting. The shoulder button turning in this game is much tighter than in GX, but it also slows you down significantly more, where in F-Zero GX it's pretty much negligible. I'm not sure if we've seen the brown patches on the side there in GX yet, but those are dirt patches which will slow down your car. And I don't understand the principle behind that, considering it's a hovercraft, but whatever.
Alright! First place!
Even after winning 3 out of the 4 races, I'm still in second. In previous Grand Prix I've run, this level is nice to kill off the opponents in. Why? Not because it's easy to catch up to them. I fucking suck at this level and usually finish around 15th. But there's more physics zaniness that happens here that can send you flying off the course if you don't do it right, and the computer doesn't think to do it right. This is the second of the cylinder levels I was talking about. This one's on the outside, and for some reason I'm horrible at it. I don't understand. I try staying to the inside of the tube and hitting as many of the boost plates as possible, but for some reason this doesn't do well enough for me to win on a consistent basis. One of the problematic things, I believe, is that the computer has infinite boost. However, this recharge area is very short compared to other levels. Because of this, you A, can't boost through the recharge area at all, and B, just do not have as much boost to use flat out. This may be the reason I have trouble catching up, and I'm going to attribute it to that as opposed to me just sucking at the level. Alright, I was saying about the physics being helpful in this one. You'll notice that this race is down to 28 competitors, and this is because, much like Silence, if you hit certain parts of the track at too high speeds, then you'll just leave the track and die. This happens a lot to the rival in these races because they're set to go faster anyway. However, I was not fortunate enough to have this happen in this race. And here's the physics wonkiness here. Pretty much the exact same principle as the silence one. Go on the outside of the track too fast and bye.
Well, you lost your machine.
Alright, last course. Because Captain Falcon has such a high lead on me, basically we're just gonna go headhunting in this level. You hear him saying that I lost my machine, that's because I restarted the course because I didn't kill him. There's nothing really interesting to watch. So, I'm just gonna spend this entire course going on a murderous rampage trying to kill Captain Falcon until I do, which is conveniently in the first 15 seconds of the course. Now, the key to this game is keeping track of the points in the overall standings. Captain Falcon was ahead of me by a shit ton, so he needed to die because there's no way I could catch up. The second place person is Super Arrow, who is still about 70 points behind if I remember correctly. As such, basically what I have to do here is just finish the course and I'm in the clear. However, in one Grand Prix before this, I managed to fuck up that, which sounds like the simplest of tasks, and die in the final straightaway because I decided I wanted to get 8th place instead of 9th.
Watch your back! Watch your back! Watch your back!
So you'll notice I'm playing it very conservatively here. Not really making any attempts to go all out and get to the front. Normally I would do one more boost here, which would leave me in the dangerously low levels, but there's no point, because I just need to finish the fucking course to win. And there we go. Super Arrow came in first, but 9th place is about 40 or 50 points behind. So he's not going to be able to cover the 70-point deficit. And that is the Grand Prix in F-Zero X. We're going to be going into more of the Master Grand Prix in both games later on. Hope you enjoyed, and here's the award ceremony with the hilarious 2D paper cutouts of the racers and 64 graphics. Alright, see you around at the next Grand Prix. Hope you had fun.